Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another E3 Thoughts On video. In this episode, we're looking at the second conference of the second day, Bethesda. In the past few years, I usually always go into Bethesda saying, I'm excited, right? I'm excited for Bethesda's conference because I like Bethesda games. Your Skyrims, your Fallout 4s, they're not perfect, but I enjoy Bethesda games. After last year's show, though, I was like, I'm going to temper my expectations. I'm not going to go into it looking for too much. And yeah, I guess that was the better way to do it, but I feel like people are overall more generally positive on this one. Because, yeah, no, this one was pretty good. It is, I don't know if it's the best. I think it's probably as good as Microsoft. Some people will say better, some people will say worse. Depends on how you feel about certain things. Fallout 76, as we'll get into it. But yeah, so it started off, Pete Hines comes out, talks about corporate stuff, right? Bethesda's, the number one ranked publisher in the world, yay! And it's just corporate, okay, right? You expect all conferences to start like this, no surprise. And they crack a joke here early on. So if you didn't know, Walmart Canada had a leak where they revealed a bunch of stuff, and Rage 2 was one of them. So as part of the joke, they show off Rage 2, right? He's like, well, as the game that you've all heard about because it was leaked by Walmart Canada. Okay, it's Bethesda making fun of something, but it's also kind of making fun of them at themselves. We'll see that a lot in this conference, and we'll get back to that. Some of it, like, I thought this was funny. Some of it, not all of it is, though. There's a lot of it that doesn't work. Then Andrew W. comes out to show off Rage 2. Rage, I never really played the first one. The best way I always understood it, it was basically Fallout, Mad Max. I would say it's not my style of game, but I like Fallout games. I probably won't pick up this one, though, admittedly. But they have Andrew W.K. come out, and God, I haven't heard that name in a long time. What was it? Stupid Destroy, Build, Destroy. But, he comes out, he does a song and all that, and it reminded me of a Ubisoft conference, which we'll see tomorrow, Just Dance at Ubisoft. This is how Ubisoft works. They do the whole song and dance thing. You'd expect them to show, like, gameplay as he sings, but no, they just focus on him for 2 minutes, and it's kind of awkward, and people are awkward in the audience. It's the cringeworthy stuff we come to expect from E3, right? But they show off Rage 2. Yeah, sure, whatever. I know some people are going to be into it. I'm not. Okay. Then, and they also showed off a special edition, which there was a lot of focus on special editions. They say Bethesda's known for their special editions. I'm not inherently in favor of special edition, but it has like a talking head, wall mount, whatever. Okay, that happened. And then they went to the card game, Elder Scrolls Legend, and they're updating it, right? New updates and all that, graphical improvements. And as part of it, they're bringing it's already on PC and mobile, and they're bringing it to every console, right? Xbox, PS4, and Switch. Okay, that's good. That's a good thing. Yeah, sure, the more people. I've never been able to get into card games. I tried playing, Hearthstone. I feel like there's another big one, but the big one is Hearthstone. What I like about Hearthstone, from what I've been told, one of the things that works is that in it, there are some decks that you do definitely have to, like, spend money to get the good cards, but there are also decks that free players can just go in and play that are actually, like, competitively viable decks. That's good. Stuff that both types of players can play. Will I play this? Probably not. Even if it's coming to Switch. And it is free, which we'll get back to that. At least I think it's free. I know Hearthstone is. They went on to talk about Elder Scrolls Online, which is a game I still don't care about. They're still talking about how big it is, how popular it is. Every time they talk about Elder Scrolls Legends, it always feels kind of forced, like it isn't. And oh my god, we'll talk about Force next. But yeah, new expansion, okay, whatever. Okay, if you're into it, yeah, sure. I know Elder Scrolls Online kind of had a crappy launch, but I heard it got better, and they say, the player base is growing, and that doesn't surprise me. Next off, we got Doom Eternal, a sequel to Doom It probably isn't. They're gonna. They didn't really. They showed off a pre-render trailer. It looks there. It looks to be taking place on Earth now. Hell has invaded Earth, and yeah, okay, that looks. I didn't actually buy Doom. I've been meaning to buy it on Switch. I will do that sooner or later. But this does look good, right? I'm excited for another Doom. I played the shareware demo, and I probably will buy it on Switch sooner or later. It looks good. I'm down for it. Okay. I wish we could have gotten gameplay, but they say QuakeCon in August, but it's probably not coming out until like early next year at the earliest. Next up, we got Quake, which, okay, this game, based on the way they talked about it, also feels kind of desperate. And this one, like, the desperates in Elder Scrolls Online, I feel like I'm reading into. This one generally feels desperate. They're doing a free week. They're giving away, you can play the game for free, but the way they talked about it, it's if you play it for the free week, you get it for free. Basically, they're giving you the game for free, or at least the free trial, because it's still an alpha. But that's not a good sign. Is this game going to come free to play? Is that what they're going to turn it into? But it sounded desperate. I know Quake is big, or at least the original was, but eh. Then they went on to Prey. So they started off showing off the developers. And this is, okay, I talk about like the jokes. Oh my god, every joke that involved the developers of Prey was so I know we use the cringe as the forbidden word nowadays, which, god, fucking internet. This is pretty bad. Because they went on, there's like a whole, oh, I'm not a mimic joke and whatnot. It's, no, nothing with them worked, honestly. It was all pretty bad, and it just got worse, and it kept going. But they have a new expansion, Moon Crash, which is available right now. You can go download it right now, plus they're adding new modes and whatnot. The whole gimmick of this new mode is that every time you play it, it changes. So one playthrough may be different than another playthrough. Items move around. That actually sounds really interesting. I wasn't too interested. I mean, I was kind of interested in Prey, but as it came out and people started talking about it, I'm actually really interested in it. I need to pick it up at some point. I just don't know when. And then they also talked about how they're having a new mode, which is basically just prop hunt. Okay, sure. I mean, we already have prop hunt, but fine. Next up, they talked about Wolfenstein, which Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, it's coming to Switch, and it got, I want to say, a June 29th release date, which is, let me see my calendar. I think that's it's the end of the month. It's 2 weeks from Friday. So 2 weeks from Friday. Same day as Crash Bandicoot. So yeah, I'll be picking up Crash Bandicoot. I know the Wolfenstein, yeah, it looks good. They have a new DLC, Youngblood. Isn't that the name of a really shitty comic? Right? It's not a good name, but it's about BJ Blazkowicz, two twin daughters in France in the 1980s, which, God, the 80s, I did like the Prey trailer, thinking about it real quick. It used You Spin Me Right Round. Good freaking trailer. Yeah, no, solid. And then they talked about VR, how Bethesda still wants to work with VR. The prop hunt mode in Prey is coming to VR. And Wolfenstein Cyberplot is coming to VR. Okay, VR is not my thing, but the more supported, the better the technology. The more people who support VR, the more interesting it will be. The more people who will buy it, the more development funds go into it, and the better the technology will get. So it'll get better, right? And then they brought out Todd Howard. Okay, I know, I'm just going to say this right now. Todd Howard is a Peter Molyneux, a Sean Murray. We can't entirely trust him. And that kind of runs through this entire thing, is as he keeps talking, everything he says, just keep in the minds, can we really trust everything? He makes a joke later on. So one of his famous quotes is, "It just works." And he parodies it later on by saying sometimes it doesn't work. Right? Okay, I see where they're going with this. It has... Okay, Todd, but he has a personality. He does really carry this. And he starts off with a joke, right? Oh, the one thing you want to know is what system are we porting Skyrim to next? And so we get the Skyrim Very Special Edition on Amazon Alexa. Okay, that's funny in and of itself. And they keep building on it because they got one of Key and Peele. I don't remember which one. Sorry, but and they talk about Skyrim on your Samsung refrigerator, Skyrim on the Etch-a-Sketch. Fucking hilarious. It's self-aware. They know what they're doing. Okay, that's really funny. This is one of the greatest jokes. Honestly, it rivals anything we see in Devolver, which, oh god, I gotta do that next. But the most interesting thing, it's not a joke. Skyrim actually did come to Amazon Alexa. If you have an Amazon Alexa, you can download Skyrim Very Special Edition. That's really funny. The fact that they actually did it, that's what makes the jokes. I mean, being on Amazon Alexa is basically a text adventure like we saw in the MS-DOS days. Okay, that's whatever. Actually making it real is really interesting. I don't have an Amazon Alexa. I have a Google Home because I use more Google products than I do Amazon products. But, if you have an Amazon product, you might as well give it a whirl. And then he went over to Fallout 76. It started off with the same trailer we saw earlier today at the Microsoft conference. I'll reiterate what I said. That song is still stuck in my head. It's going to be stuck in my head forever now. My God, I've heard it so much in the past few weeks. It doesn't help I've been listening to it as well. But they did confirm that it is an online multiplayer game, but you can play it in single player. Okay, it's a good meet in the middle. And it looks a lot... I know this sounds weird, but it looks a lot more like a Fallout game than I was expecting. I mean, I was expecting Rust, right? Base building, but I forgot how much, Fallout is actually here. And, this really does look like a Fallout game. They're adding all sorts of new monsters, right? But you'll also be able to play with your friends. 4-player, probably co-op. The world is changing, right? How the world, if you do something in your world, it'll affect people in other worlds. You can build bases anywhere. You can set up bases and homes, presumably build giant bases. It looks like they're probably reusing the system from Fallout 4. The game looks like it's reusing a lot from Fallout 4, just more enhanced, same engine. But I don't think this... I think this looks fine. I know it's a Bethesda game and people will be worried, RPG elements and all that. You can see... But it honestly, if it is multiplayer, it will probably have more RPG elements than Fallout 4 did. Fallout 4, I think the best way I've heard it described is it's not an RPG, it's a Bethesda game. Bethesda games have RPG elements because they originate from Bethesda franchises, but they're not really RPGs. And that's where it looks like this. It's going to have RPGs, but it's also a Bethesda game, and it's a multiplayer, which I know a lot of people have wanted. I do think this really has potential. And for people who want to play offline, you can play offline. They added there's a photo mode, which, no harm, no foul. I think the photo mode is funny in Odyssey, sure. And then the gimmick I really like. That makes me really, it kind of already showed me. I liked it. The more we saw of it, the better it looked. But I like this gimmick where it's still, right, Fallout is big on nuclear power. There are still nuclear missiles in the world, and you can get a nuclear launch code and launch a nuke somewhere in the map, maybe to destroy an enemy encampment, to destroy something. But then as part of the system, if you destroy it, that makes the area more hostile with bigger threats, but it also has new rewards, right? Rarer gear and probably rarer items, because there's going to be a crafting system, because Fallout 4 had a crafting system, kind of. Yeah, okay, this is... Sure, that I actually really like this idea. That it's a difficulty put on by the player, but it's something the player has to work towards to create themselves a harder challenge. I actually really like this gimmick, and if people like it, I can see it showing up in future games. And then they announced that they're doing a beta, which, okay, this is part of Bethesda's self-awareness going too far. This is where sometimes it doesn't work joke comes in, but it's break it early test application, because as Todd Tower says, I've heard around the internet that our games are known for being buggy. Okay, that joke should be really funny, and I know for some people it is funny. My problem is they know their games are buggy, but yet even when they re-release them, they've never done anything to fix any of the bugs. Right? And why? Okay, they're doing a beta to stress the online and test how this works, but how much of it are they really going to fix? Again, like I say, anything that I think looks interesting, always doubt Todd Howard. He is a Peter Molyneux type. Oh God, what's the other one? I just said his Sean Murray, right? I don't trust him. I mean, this could be good. This does look good, but I'm worried. I am worried, admittedly. And they also talked about special edition. Again, they keep going back to special editions. Is that a thing? Is that just... They talk about Bethesda's famous for their special editions? Are they? I'm not a special edition guy. I've actually never bought a special edition before. True fact. But Fallout 4 Special Edition, it has an actual helmet, like one of the freaking helmets from the Power Armor. Okay, neat. Neat. It's not my cup of tea, but neat. Oh yeah, because they had the freaking Pip-Boy edition for Fallout 4. That's right. That was pretty infamous. And they got a release date of the 14th of November this year. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I figured it was coming this year. Because a majority of this conference focused on, right, stuff coming this year, with the exception of, like, Doom and the Youngblood thing. Which, I actually do like the trend of E3 basically focusing on games coming out this year. I think that's a good trend. You can hint at stuff coming next year, but, yeah. And then they talked about Fallout Shelter. It's celebrating 3 years. I remember when it was announced. I didn't pick it up. I want to say it was exclusive for iPhone at launch or something like that. But it eventually came to Xbox and then PC and other stuff. I considered picking it up on PC, but it's now coming to Switch, and I actually have my Switch right here downloading it. So I'm going to check it out. I probably won't get too much enjoyment out of it, but I might as well try. And then they went into their next thing. They're making an Elder Scrolls mobile game. Again, I don't entirely know what to trust. It looks very basic, but it's a mobile game. Graphically, it looks good. This could have potential. This could blow up in their faces. Who knows? One of the weird things is that it has a vertical mode. I don't know how to feel about that. I see where they're coming from, but I don't entirely trust it. The one thing I do like, though, is that one of their goals is to make it so that you can it's cross-platform. Which maybe Bethesda will finally be able to push Sony into cross-platform. Soon, God, I hope it happens sooner rather than later. But it's coming to Android and iPhone this fall, and then the rest of everything else, VR, every console sooner or later, right? And yeah, I don't know if I trust it or not, but it could be good. I'm not saying it's bad. Next, they showed off Starlink. This is brand new Bethesda IP. I feel like this has been rumored for years now. I feel like they've talked about it before. They just showed a quick, little thing about a ship flying off into space, and we don't know anything other than that. I do think this has a lot of potential, though, because this is the first Bethesda game not linked to any previous IP. I mean, ask any fans of Fallout 1 and 2. They don't like Fallout 3 and 4. What makes Fallout 1 and 2 great for them, Fallout 3 and 4 doesn't have. But by being a brand new original IP, Bethesda can finally make a Bethesda game. Not linked down by any RPG elements that they want to do, but a game that they actually want to make. I feel like this has so much more potential than anything else. I'm going to be honest. Even more than, what they announced next. Elder Scrolls 6. This, again, Starlink I can see in Starlink's going to be our 2019 game. You can quote me on that. Elder Scrolls is going to be our 2020 game. That's 2 years in advance, but they just wanted to reassure people, hey, we are making it. Okay, I don't know what it's going to be about. If it's enjoyable like Skyrim, okay. If it gets ported to everything under the sun like Skyrim, good. I'm surprised. I'm actually kind of disappointed Fallout 76 isn't coming to Switch. I mean, it may come after the fact, right? They may announce that later, but I kind of wish it was there. I do. But this could be good. This could be a disaster. It depends on your point of view. I liked Skyrim. I really did. And yeah, no, it has potential, but I will wait to see more. All we got was a logo for both these games. I do feel like Starlink has more potential than Elder Scrolls 6. As crazy as that sounds. We'll see. Who knows at this point? And yeah, that's Bethesda's conference. Overall, I'm positive. Sure. Sure, it does it could, I guess if I had to rank it, I'd probably give it B+, A-. Yeah, no, there is some solid stuff here. I'm saying I'm more positive than like Microsoft, because even though Microsoft had more interesting games, I do like Fallout 76. I do think it can be really good. I think it has potential. It's going to be another Bethesda game, but I like Bethesda games. It could go either way though. I know for people who are less positive on it, Microsoft probably did better, and God, I don't know how Sony's going to top any of this. Especially if what they've said so far is true. Who knows? But if you did see, I did stream Microsoft's conference. Complete accident, but I rolled with the punches. And so I'll be streaming Sony and Nintendo's conferences the next 2 days. Link in the description. Tomorrow we have Squeenix, which I will be covering just like I did this. Oh, and later on tonight we have Devolver. But I have Squeenix, Ubisoft, and Sony. I will not be covering limited run games or the PC Gaming Show. I never have in the past. And also Splatoon Championship tomorrow, and Smash Bros. I think is also tomorrow. At the same time as Sony's conference, or like an hour. There's like an hour gap or something like that. I don't know. I actually think it is at the same time as Sony's conference. Which, decisions. Maybe we'll do both on stream. But yeah, we'll check that out. And yeah, shortly after this comes up, Devolver should come up. But I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time,